good. Hey, how you doing?
Good, nice to meet you.
Sly Fox Tactical. So let me know what you guys do a little bit different than other knife makers.
You know, typically a lot of what we do that's a little bit different than everybody else is the way we approach things when it comes to machining, the way we approach things in that everything that we do is a tool first and foremost. You know, if it looks cool, that's just kind of a side effect of being functional.
Right.
So that's a huge proponent in everything that we do is make things functional first. You know, form follows function sort of mentality. Yeah. So I'm a machinist. I make things to the best of my ability and the best of the equipment that I have available. Sure. So I do a lot of different processes and I utilize a lot of different equipment and anything that I have available in my resources, whether it be people or machines, to create useful tools that are lightweight, innovative, and ease of maintenance and use.
So what types of materials do you use?
A lot of the materials I use, like typically, like this stuff is CTSX HP for the blade steel. I use titanium. I use a lot of carbon fiber. All high quality materials. We use a whole range of different steels from S35, 20CV, Crewware, some of the tool steels. Typically, most everything we do is in stainless steels. You know, I'm very outdoor oriented. I do a lot of adventure racing and shooting and stuff like that. So I want low maintenance. So
what do you do for your bearings? What do you use?
Bearings, I use a mix. I make my own. I use cage bearings. I use bronze phosphorus. It just depends on the application. Not everything is suited for cage bearings. Not everything is suited for bronze bearing. The bearing that's in this knife is an invention that I did. I call it zero gravity bearing. It's I designed this is a proof of concept for a knife that I'm designing to submit to NASA for the Mars program.
Awesome.
So it's initially started out as 12 satellite bearings per frame that are press fit into the frame, and then machined away as a whole. Now it's actually a unit bearing that I machine separately offline, and it's meant to be a little bit stiffer in the action so that in space with zero gravity, it's not opening and closing without you manually inputting some kind of pressure on it. That's a requirement for any kind of safety stuff like that.
Right, of course, yeah. It's a beautiful knife.
Thank you. So that's a lot of what we do. We also make this same version with a cage bearing. So when you're on Terra, it's much easier to open and close, which is what most people are used to. So it's all design and functionality.
So what would you say your most popular design is?
Most popular design is the Hoback. I have a version here. This is our first auto version that we've done more than just a couple of. It's the Hoback design, just in a smaller compact package, and it's an automatic. So this is a 3 1/4 inch blade. Absolutely. And it's a button lock auto out the side.
I like that clip.
And a wire clip.
That's really unique.
I like the fact that the wire clip is just, it doesn't take away from the knife, and it's very discreet. When you have a big machined titanium clip, it really sticks out versus a wire clip that's just kind of, it blends itself in, and it doesn't stand out as much.
So it has a machined swedge. I don't know if you can see that, but the swedge is machined, and it has a unique, almost Japanese style, edge to it. Almost
Japanese style Tonto.
Tonto, well, it's like a Tonto recurve hybrid. It's pretty crazy, actually. I like it.
Thank you.
This is unique.
And the button lock is of my own design.
It's recessed.
Slightly recessed, and it's also quite a bit thicker in the structure in between the lock face and the button itself, so that it holds up a little better to abuse. So
you gotta get used to that recess for a second. But you know what? I'm glad it's there.
And then it doesn't
it's not gonna open in your pocket. No, fantastic.
And titanium frame, blade on that is CTSX HP. And
so this is more, it's kind of like a apocalyptic looking knife, really, but the function of it seems really great. I like the weight of it. I like how it opens. It's real positive. I like that this is recessed. I think somebody's cracking a whip back there. I like it, man. That's fantastic design.
Appreciate it. Very functional, small enough that it carries really easy. You don't have any issues with it taking up a bunch of pocket real estate.
Right.
try to keep things as functional as possible.
Okay. Do you make a standard flipper?
We do indeed. So we have
look at this guy. He knows exactly what's going on.
So this is our A8 slimline model. Slimline denotes that it's going to be a little bit slimmer in overall thickness. It's 5/32 material. Blade steel on this is, let me check, because we use a lot of different steels.
Sure.
We use 20 CV on this blade steel. So we engrave most of our knives with the blade steel and the year on the inside of the frame, so you always know what you're getting.
You see that little axe on there?
We also make axes.
We also make axes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So again, this one gives you a little bit lighter.
Yep.
It's 5/32 material. Typically we use 3/16.
So do you use a differential metal?
Yeah, so I use a lock insert. It's a hardened stainless steel lock insert. I use 17.4 at an H900 heat treat, so it's about a 48 Rockwell, give or take.
Wow, that's pretty good.
So it's relatively hard, not as hard as the blade steel, because at the end of the day, I want the lock insert to wear out before the blade ever will. So it's that form follows function thing. Everything has a fusible link.
Absolutely.
So,
and it also has that Tonto style edge. This one you can see a little bit more of the grind, but pretty impressive. And how are you doing your grinds on these? Are you machine grinding
our production grinds are all CNC ground.
Okay.
And then all the custom side of things I hand grind personally.
Cool. Axe?
And then we've got the axe. So this is the newest axe. This one is unfinished at this point, but I wanted to show it off. It is, we call it the PS35. That's for Psalm 35.
What metal is this?
That's 80 CRV2.
No kidding.
It starts out as a 2-pound blank and finishes out machined at 12 ounces.
Wow.
It is over a 1/4 inch thick, 80 CRV2. I've run the structural analysis on that, and it will hold up to anything that a human hand can put against it. The last axe that I did that was somewhat similar to this, we were cutting open car doors. We cut a 55-gallon drum in half with it. The way I machined the bevels on this, the angle is specific. I actually did a bunch of testing where I'd start changing the angles 10 degrees at a time until I discovered what angle worked properly for the axe when you swing it, that it prevents deflection. So when you're making a cut, it helps guide it into the cut instead of deflecting away from it.
So will this have more of an edge to it?
Yes, so I actually make the top edge thicker than the bottom edge. So this is for your finer cutting tasks, and this is for your more heavy cutting tasks. Like if you wanted to cut through a car door or a wall or something like that, you're going to typically end up using the top half anyway.
So does it end up with a convex grind on the edge?
No. It depends on what we're after. So a lot of the time we'll do a flat edge, but we do a lot of convex grind edges just because they work really well for axes and larger tools.
Or they stay sharp longer and they don't crack, right? You don't have to worry about any pieces popping off. But no, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
so what do you plan on doing for handles on this?
So the handle on this will actually come all the way up here. It'll be fully enclosed and it'll be electrically insulated. If you cut through, I design a lot of stuff for military guys, and if you're going to be cutting through a wall or whatever, if you hit a live wire, I want that handle to be electrically insulated so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, 110, 220 is not going to kill you, but it's going to shock you, and it's going to make you stop for a second. I want those guys need something that there's no distraction.
No.
So it'll be a fully enclosed G10 handle. All the it'll still be screwed in, and you can take it apart.
Right.
But it'll be electrically insulated, so you don't have to worry about if you ever do need to take it apart. You just re-glue and you're good to go.
That's awesome, man. That's great with Hoback Knives. Fantastic products, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.